All right, 8:33 in the studio, 27 minutes moving on to the hour of 9 o'clock. Welcome back to the morning show. In the studio with me this morning, I have Donnelly. I know I mentioned earlier Officer Nisbet and Bell, Officer Bell and Officer Nisbet, but they're not here this morning. I have other individuals in the studio. I'm not going to take away Donnelly thunder, so to speak, if I can put it that way. I'll let her do the introduction. And for those of you listening, you can also view the show via YouTube and Facebook. Just look for ZIZ. And On the Road is the name of the show. And you will be able to see it either on YouTube or Facebook. We're going to be opening the lines in just a bit. But before we do so, let's hear from the officers first. And Donnelly, I'm going to start with you. Hold on a second, Donnelly. Hold on. There you go.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. GQ. Good morning to those persons out there in Radio Land. And before I make any introduction of my supervisors who are here with me today, I will do the usual. And so let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you this time, dear God, seeking your continued grace, your mercies, and your provision for us. We thank you, dear God, that we were given the opportunity this morning, dear God, to breathe a breath of fresh air. Thanking, dear God, for blessed awakening. And as we go to this program this morning, may we have persons who have receptive hearts, listening ears for the information that we are about to roll out. Persons may listen, understand, and if need be, we make clarification. These mercies we ask in your name and no other name. Amen.
Amen.
And so with us in the studio this morning is Inspector Gordon, who I am sure is no stranger to the radio program. He may not have been here very often, but he has been. And back with us at the traffic department is no stranger to anyone in the radio community, is Sergeant Matthew Maguire. So welcome, gentlemen.
Morning.
This morning, we are here to basically roll out the information or the management traffic plan for the upcoming music festival that will be held from June 26th to 28th of 2025. And without any further ado, we would just go right into the program because we know that our time is short, and so there is quite a few things that we have to discuss. I would let either Inspector Gordon or Mr. Maguire seniority to proceed.
Good morning, those in the radio community. This morning, aim is to alert both motorists and pedestrians as to the restrictions as it relates to the music festival, which will be held at Warner Park Cricket Stadium. The traffic department has made some changes as it relates to the parking and other use of the stadium as it relates to the music festival. As it relates to the public parking, there will be no parking in or around the stadium where the festival would be held. As it relates to public parking, Port Zante would be one of those parking, and that would be the eastern and western parking lot. Those parking lots are known as UDC. I stand corrected if it's not as, but I think it's known as UDC. And parking will be managed by security officers and traffic wardens. As it relates to the Beach Allen playing field, that site is very lighted and would made available for general public parking. We also would be permitting parking, on-street parking, throughout Bastia, but one may take notice that these areas that are marked there would still be no parking permitted, and these areas would be yellow lines. Design signs would stipulate whether you can park or not. So I want motorists to also be looking out for those signs and the yellow lines. During music festival, those will not be permitted. You will not be permitted to park on those lines. One of the things I want to draw to those persons' attention is the tow trucks would be available. So any violators would be towed. And the towing fee would be based on the person who violate. The person who violate or who park the vehicle there will be responsible. The sole responsibility will be on them to pay the fee before the vehicle will be returned. I just want the general public to know that. As it relates to the streets around the event, let's use Lazarus Road. Lazarus Road would be mainly reserved for VIPs and residents. We already spoke to the residents in the area. They are aware of the upcoming events, and they assured us we would be given the full cooperation as it relates to their vehicle and parking. Also, there will be no parking on Lower College Street, because the traffic lights would also be functioning, and in that area, there are also yellow lines that would permit no parking. On the western side of 4th Street, no parking as well. We want traffic to flow freely in those areas. On Taylor's Range, there will be no parking. We want traffic to flow freely as well around the event. There will be no parking on Victoria Road. And that's the road leading from the Moravian Church right down to the traffic light. That's Victoria Road. In relation to the event itself, there will be specified drop-offs where persons who would be transported from these parking areas via shuttles, there will be designated drop-off. So it would be in order that persons then just come and drop off wherever they want. We are doing it in a systematical order where everybody knows how the traffic will be flowing. So you drop off and you continue. In relation to East Park Range, traffic would flow one way, and that's southern bound only. And they would exit along the road, NHC Road. That is what we call Park Lane. That's the road between NHC, the little small road. There will be no parking permitted on that road as well. And signs would be posted to indicate to drivers, even pedestrians, as to the use of the road around that event and the night in question. It is a 3-night event, and I think it's from the 26th to the 28th. So traffic would be enforced all 3 nights, and the signs would be posted. As it relates to the shuttle service, Fish Shuttle service will be operating from Port Zante to the Warner Park Stadium. Fish Shuttle. It would have Shuttle 1, which would dispatch the taxi stand on the eastern end of Port Zante and travel via the Bay Road, 4th Street into Victoria Road. Shuttle 2 begins westbound, opposite of Rams, travel along the Bay Road, turn onto College Street, continue right onto Kean Street, and enter Victoria Road. And all shuttles will return to Port Zante via College Street, College Street Road. I just want the public to understand the restriction is in order for the safety for persons and motorists, for pedestrians and motorists alike. And just want to let the listening audience know, police officers will be conducting routine patrols and across all designated parking areas along with major routes to ensure the safety of patrons and security of vehicles are priority on that night. As I indicated earlier, vehicles found in violation of the parking restriction are obstructing the free flow of traffic. They would be towed at the owner's expense.
Okay.
I just want to make that clear. Any violators on the night of music festival would be towed. Any motorist would be towed, and they would be towed at their expense.
With your permission, can we open the line now?
Yes.
465-1977, 465-1903, and 662-8674. Let's take our first call. Good morning, you're live.
Hey, good morning. Good morning to the panelists. Good morning again, GQ. Granny in the place. Sergeant, if that was the sergeant speaking, I didn't hear you say no parking in the St. Peter's bus stop area. Because we don't got a lot of things here. Christmas time and a music festival time. Well, look, now we don't get where to park. And you know, with those 3 nights, buses will be working. That's the plan, you know, so put that into play to let the general public, please, no parking. We park the St. Peter bus station bill. Let me put it so.
Yes, as I mentioned earlier, College Street, and it refers to Upper College Street and Lower College Street. So where the buses are permitted to park, no persons would be allowed to park there. And if they are found parked there, they will be towed. I just want to make that clear.
What's the cost for the towing?
$200.
Next question before we go to the line. Where will those designated drop-offs be for the shuttle service and the general public?
Okay, so I can relate to that, and I am happy that someone would have asked that question. Thank you, caller, for that question. Sorry, because I was about to, at some point, explain the shuttle service area. The inspector would have read, and so for us to clearly understand the shuttle services. And so we're going to try to speak in a language that persons can understand. If you're coming from Bird Rock area, and that is the eastern side, if I stand corrected, you drive into the parking lot that's on the left-hand side because you're coming from Bird Rock. You get into the left-hand side of the parking area, and there will be officers who would be showing you where you're supposed to park, how you should be parking, because we don't want any out of order parking, and when some person's ready to leave, they've been blocked in by someone else and they can't find the driver, and so there will be orderly parking. Now, the shuttle services, they're going to use that area, a portion of the taxi stand in the stands in the UDC area. There was a taxi stand. It's open. It's unmarked. So taxis would just park at their leisure. Now the shuttle services will be parked. There will be a sign that says shuttle services here. And so the shuttle buses, trucks, whatever they will be using, will be parked. Persons will get onto the shuttle, and the shuttle will move out of that area and traverse left and go left up College Street and get to the venue. The shuttles that will be on the western side, that is the persons who will be coming from KFC area or down on the Bay Road. The shuttle service will be parked in the area just outside of the traffic lights on the left-hand side. If you're coming from west, it will be on your right. If you're coming from east, it will be on your left. So just as you come out of the Rams parking lot, there were 3 large stone icons. The shuttle buses will be parked right there. And those shuttle buses will collect the persons, they will move on to the route or to the route, and they would get them to the Warner Park Stadium, and then they get back into position. So those are the areas designated for the shuttle services. I hope that answered the question that the person wanted to.
But that's where they're going to be. But in terms of at the park itself, no. So, for example, the shuttle service know where to go at the park. But let's say Johnny or X is going to drop off Sonia at the park. He can't drop off Sonia anywhere. The general public needs to know that as well.
And so you drive up to Victoria Road, and you pull on the left side of just above the American Bakery, on the left portion. Remember, there will be no parking, absolutely no parking. But what we do not want to happen is for persons to just come, pull up in the middle of the street, drop off someone, and then there is a backup. Because we have to remember that there is a traffic light below of where the drop-off would be. And so we're asking persons to kindly pull up on the left, just above on the opposite side of the American Bakery. Pull over on your left, and persons can easily get in or get out of the vehicle that will be taking them to the event.
All right, let's go back to the phone line. Good morning, you are live.
Mr. Lai, good morning, and how are you today, sir?
I'm good, thank you.
And to the police officers, good morning to them.
Good morning.
I'm not listening to radio now, so I haven't heard what it is that is discussed based on the opening statement, etc. But I had an observation today. And I also did see what I observed this morning on Monday this week, approximately 5:45, of the roundabout in the vicinity of Central Bank. There was a vehicle exiting the roundabout on the lane going towards Frisco gas station, and a vehicle using that same lane coming in. So that vehicle was entering the exit of the roundabout. One of the vehicles, by recognizing there is a rental of the license plate being read. I do not know what it is that person saw or they anticipated, but of course, they got a roundabout with two sides, east and west, two sides, north and south. And one must understand that we drive on the left-hand side of the road. It's obvious that somebody has to be wrong. But I heard someone say, the roundabouts are too small for signs. I do not understand what that really means. Obviously, there's no signs to direct and explain to people where, what to look for, what lane to use. Another thing that I have recognized that they are now painting the F.D. Williams and the new road. But that's the same paint, like they order, should have been used. Some of that paint could be used for other roads that we've been asking them to paint a long time ago. A road have two lanes, and it is significantly explained and at least outlined because they have a center line in the road. A lane going, a lane coming. The question is, what it is taking them so long to actually put center line in some of the roads that we have asked for a long time ago? And if they're going to put the center line down, are they going to put highway reflectors too to help people to at least navigate the road carefully and comfortably? I am asking the question, what it is taking so long? And if the roundabout is so small for signs, why could it be so small for signs? I'm not listening because I don't have a radio, obviously. I would hope when I get home, I could tune in and hear this based on what is being said and discussed today on the TV this evening or whenever necessary. I thank you all for listening and have a good day. Goodbye.
Thank you, caller. And we appreciate your call and we appreciate your concern. However, no excuses. Our program this morning is mainly to sensitize the general public with the music festival event, and so much that we appreciate your concern. We would address your matter at a different time.
On that note, let's go back to the phone line. Good morning, you're live.
Hi, good morning. Donald, it's all good to hear your voice, and thanks for your prayer this morning before you open, as always. Two concerns. One, what are you guys doing about these broken down vehicles that are sitting on the side of the road for months? Some goes as far as years. music festival coming up, and there's a lot of restrictions. And maybe this is the time to step up the penalty, the campaign about having those vehicles removed off of the road. Some of them haven't been licensed for a long time, and they're taking up space. Yes, it might be your vehicle, right, but you have it parked on the government road, and it's not moving. The other thing, what about those visitors that are coming in for music festival? How, with the message reach to them in terms of these parking restrictions? And I mentioned it before, I'm going to do it again. How about having a layout of these parking restrictions, parking area, and have it circulated at least by next week, so persons can know, visitors, and also we locals can know exactly where the areas that are permitted for parking. Because you have to remember that it's not everyone listening to the radio and get a chance to listen to the radio because of working time. So it definitely would be good if you have something circulating so these persons can know. Thank you very much for your time. I'll continue to listen.
So, thanks for your contribution. Presently, as we sensitize, especially in the areas of where the precincts of the music festival venue, as we sensitize the residents and other persons as to the traffic management that are in place, we also look for these vehicles that have not been operational and lie on the road. And so we will check these areas where we see that it will create that kind of congestion to the traffic, and get in touch with the owners and have them remove the vehicles. In relation to the message going out to visitors, this is just the rollout of the management plan. The intent is to have it placed on the police Facebook page, and I think it also would be placed on the Music Festival Committee website. And we are soliciting also additionally influencers out there, those social media influencers like yourself, if I assume correctly who is asking the question, can utilize your own community. And so when we put these plans, that you can snapshot them and have them posted on your status. And so we believe by that way it will be enough, it will be adequate for persons who are visiting. If you have your own relatives and friends coming in, this will be a good opportunity to have them being informed as to what happened, because we want to ensure that the traffic flow is not to the disadvantage of neither the vehicular traffic nor the pedestrian.
All right, let's take our final call for this morning, and then we'll wrap up the program. Remember, we are discussing the plans for traffic surrounding Music Festival. Good morning, you are live.
Yeah, GQ.
Yes, man.
Officers, many years, when Music Festival in the past, you got problems in College Street. God, Granny is right. You all got to put people over there to direct this smooth flow of traffic from Wellington coming around the Moravian and going east at the Moravian. This is where you all got to look at. I will say go as far as Market Street and control it with the guards them. You know got and to the back of the station there, where the courthouse was, where the college. That road too much officers does be down there, and sometimes you can't see sometimes where some of them is doing. They need to go and the parameter at the stadium right over from Wellington to Market Street and control traffic in there. Come down to the circus. Control this thing. Have a good morning, GQ. This is Jam Down.
Well, like the inspector said that there will be patrols. So the patrols, that would be the reason for the patrols, for security and so on. So these parking areas, they will be lighted, and you will have the patrols in place, patrols vehicles, to make sure that persons' vehicles are kept safely, and also to ensure that there is no infraction with from other violators.
Yes, just 3 things from me. I just want persons to take under consideration. If they can use what we call the team up and together to use one vehicle.
Carpooling.
Carpooling. Yes, that's the word. Carpooling. As it relates to carpooling, whether it's a family or it's a friend. A family member or a friend, let them just take that under consideration. We're also asking for consideration as well, leaving your vehicle at home and using the public transportation. That would greatly help, because persons will be looking for parking space, persons will be enjoying themselves on the night, and so we're asking them if they have a designated driver as well. That's the third one. Have a designated driver. When you finish the event and you remember you would have enjoyed yourself fully, you have somebody who can take you safely home. Those are the 3 things I just want the listening audience to take under consideration. Carpooling, using the public transportations, and having a designated driver.
Last question before I let you guys wrap up. Someone is asking, what time will the shuttle service start?
6 p.m. nightly.
Yes, 6 p.m. nightly, everything would be in operation.
Okay. Final words from any one of you? Thank you for being here, by the way.
You're welcome. From me, GQ, there were still something that the general public still haven't heard from us, and so we will continue to sensitize the general public in whatever form we can. Letting the general public know, we spoke about the parking on Loza Code. That will just be for homeowners and VIPs, and so these vehicles will be marked. There will be a sticker to show that you must have permission to park in these areas. Persons who the homeowners on East Park Range, they were spoken to before, like Sergeant Maguire would have said, and they have agreed to park in their garage. And so we appreciate those persons, those homeowners, those persons who live in the area. We appreciate you so much for understanding, accepting our request. Also, someone spoke about the broken down vehicles in that area. We have spoken to those persons as well, and there were 3 broken down vehicles in that area, and they will be removed before the event. Thank you guys for listening, and we hope that you would have understand our layout, and we wish you all the best and have a good week.